The Bamboo Project podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project podcast. My name is DonivanGray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we're not on it, we're about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. Do you want to learn real estate? We got that. Do you want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Do you want travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Toro? Got it. Candles? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that do not make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 139. Okay, this podcast has 4 different segments: life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is Thursday, November 17th, and it is currently 6:55 p.m. So a lot of y'all are new. So yeah, I probably don't know how crazy that is, but I'll get into it a little bit later. We normally shoot every single podcast on Tuesday. Usually I like to do it in the morning, but you know, sometimes it happens in the afternoon, you know, life. But before I get into explaining why the podcast is going 2 days late and almost, well, it's already nighttime here, we are going to do screen time. Okay, and screen time is when I check my phone, so I know how much time I spent on my phone last week, so I can have a better handle and manage on myself, so I'm not spending too much time on my cell phone. Because if I am not taking advantage of my phone, then my phone is taking advantage of me, and I can't have that. Okay, so last week I spent an average of 9 hours and 53 minutes on my phone, and on social I spent an average of 29 hours and 20 minutes, and on entertainment I spent an average of 11 hours and 44 minutes. I wonder how they differentiate the two. I don't know what is entertain. Oh, it does tell me. So entertainment is YouTube. It's not social. Interesting. And then social, I spent 30 hours that week. So how many hours is that per day? That would be 30 divided by 7. It's about 4 hours a day.
Yeah, it's funny. YouTube isn't really like a social platform when I think about it, but I think you use it kind of socially.
Why you say that?
Because you respond to a lot of comments.
Let's see. So social apps would be Instagram, Twitter. I spend 6 hours and 13 minutes on Discord. And they have messages as social. Interesting. Okay. So my daily average was 4 hours and 11 minutes. And I like this section better than the other one.
What do you mean your daily average is what?
4 hours and 11 minutes on what is that called? Socials.
Oh, wait, that sounds suspicious.
My last week average pickups per day was 141. That's really high. Instagram was 166. Discord was number 2 with 143. So beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend. How was your screen time last week?
My average was 7 hours and 22 minutes. No, 17 minutes. My most used app was Instagram for 10 hours and a half. then Google Maps for 6 hours, and then Messages for 5, and then Discord for like almost 4 hours, and then TikTok for 3 hours.
For the week? So the reason why we are shooting a podcast as late as we are is because Melissa and I have been super sick this whole week. I don't think I've been this sick since we've lived here, like this frequently. It could be, well, I don't think it could be. I'm 99% sure that it's because of what we're eating. I said this before. When it comes to feeling sick, I really just think it comes down to your body interact with inflammation, because I think a lot of times people feel like they are, quote, sick, even though they're just eating bad, unhealthy food. And if you eat certain kinds of food, your nose might feel congested, you might feel tired. Honestly, you could feel achy, your stomach could hurt, you could have the runs. A lot of things that people would say, I have a cold or the flu, you have very similar symptoms when you eat unhealthy food. A lot of people who eat food, unhealthy food regularly, kind of, they don't know the symptoms are there because they have them so frequently. So there are people who are like, yeah, I just have allergies, or I just have the stomach pain I just have all the time. It's like, yeah, because you eat the same food that causes that all the time. You don't stop. So, but yeah, we have not been eating very healthy for a while. We've been hustling for a long time, but the last couple of weeks we have been really trying to push it to the limit, because we opened up the new location and we're trying to get everything set up there. Just the last 2 weeks has just been a lot. And then we've been double booked certain days, almost triple booked other days. It's kind of been slowing down finally. And when we go that hard, I realize that we usually end up sick. We usually end up sick and fighting. And I think that we did pretty well on the fighting side this week. I don't feel like we had any major fights. Not really. I get mad at a lot of stuff. But I don't think we had anything like we've had before. So that's always good. And we have a craft fair coming up this weekend. And we have a couple more until for this year. I think we have, 3 more?
Wait.
How many more craft fairs do we have for the year? I think we're done in December.
November, so I think 3 more.
Yeah, 3 more craft fairs coming up. So 3 more craft fairs. Sheesh. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to that. But as you guys see in the title, we had got approved for a grant for $5,000. Okay, so what that means for us is that it's money that we do not have to pay back to anybody. We are trying to figure out how we're going to spend the $5,000. But the biggest pro that we have this money is that we can finally do Chelsea. For everyone who's been here with us for the last 6 months, maybe even a little bit longer than that, you guys know we talk about Chelsea all the time. And it's a 7-day market for people who are unfamiliar with it. And it's, out of all the places that we've been to, it would be the busiest one. And they have a lot of tourists that go there. And we can do it for 7 days out of the week. So we currently do between $1,400 and $1,800. I would say between $1,200 and $1,700 on the weekend right now at Williamsburg, right? We usually do about $500 to maybe $800 a day, right? Honestly, that's not even true. That's actually not true at all. On a very slow day, we'll do $500 in a day at Williamsburg, which is an affiliation to Chelsea. They have 2 locations. And when we are doing when we have a good day, like when we are doing amazing, $1,400 in a day, $1,200 in a day, $1,100 in a day, if we're doing like amazing. But I think on average, I would say 800 to 1,000 is like what I could expect us to do consistently at Williamsburg. And those are days, like I said, this is the place that is not as busy as Artisan Fleece Chelsea. Artisan Fleece Chelsea is significantly busier. You guys could pull it up if you guys aren't from New York. It's Artist and Fleece. Just put Chelsea location. And actually put Chelsea Market also. You could see how much foot traffic that place gets. It's insane. So we are thinking, okay, how much money can we make in a day at this place, right? I think realistically, we could do $700 a day. Like, I think that should be the bare minimum is $700 a day. And if we're doing $700 a day, that means we're making $5,000. You know, is that 5,000? Yeah, it would be $5,000 in a week, right? And the most money we ever made in a week is like $2,400, something like that. So now that we have the money to pay for the entrance fee, which is $1,500, we can now get into the mode of doing it every week. And if we can, now that we have the money, bless you, now that we have the money to do it every week consistently, we can do 5,000 every single week. If my math is mathing, that should be around $20,000 a month. That's what we're looking forward to in February, or maybe probably March. And while we're doing that, we'll be having the location in Williamsburg, which will probably do another, let's say $1,100 on that weekend. So the 55 or the 5,000 plus the 1,100 would bring us to $6,600. And then you multiply that by 4, you're looking at, what's that, 624, 24,000 plus the 600. So we're looking at like $26,000 for the month. And that's not included online sales. So we are like, that has been the goal this whole entire time, is to get into Chelsea, is to get there and stabilize it the same way we have stabilized Williamsburg right now, where we're doing it. We've done it for probably 5 or 6 weeks in a row consistently. And the goal is to do the same thing at Williamsburg so that we can make an obscene amount of money. So we can actually move out. And I'm just thinking, yes, like we can finally do it. So we're getting prepared for that. And I think one of the reasons why we got so sick is because of that. If y'all remember back in maybe September, we had got into a huge fight, and during that fight, we ended up missing out on 3 weeks of doing, or maybe a month of doing, the craft fair. And when we came back, we were able to, shout out to Carlene and a lot of other people, they were able to help us to do multiple craft fairs in a row. And normally what we've noticed is that whenever we get down bad like that, we're about to make a lot of money. And honestly, I think maybe Melissa was sick during that time, or maybe I was sick during that time. I feel like, were you sick? I feel like it was probably you. But we usually, like I said, we've noticed a trend. It happened when we had the house, that sometimes we'll just push as hard as we can and nothing will happen. And we'll just be feeling like we should be doing something. Let's find something to do. And then it's kind of just the universe's way of saying, no, there's nothing to do right now. I'm working, you relax. I'm like, all right, I got you. And that, I've been trying to be more in tune when times like that happen, so I can get with the program a lot quicker, so I'm not trying to force it and missing out on my rest time. Because for me, what I've noticed is that if I try and rush through those things or those moments like that, it usually just makes more bad things happen. So I just remind myself, like, hey, this is a time you got to just relax, and the universe is working on the outside, and it's going to bring something back to you. And this time it was the $5,000 for, Chelsea. Last time it was being able to book 5 or 8 weeks at the craft fair. So we're about to have a downtime again because we weren't able to book any fairs for December, really. I think we only have one. We have one in December right now, and we have none in January. So no, we have one in January. Don't we have we have one in January. Oh, that's great. I feel like we have two. I feel like don't we have in January?
Not in January, but we have 5 dates.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in January. I thought we don't have Grand Bazaar in January.
We do.
So we have two.
How's 2?
We have Williamsburg in January because we switched it. I forgot we had that too. So we have 2 dates booked in January, and I actually just found out some great news as far as booking craft fairs. So Grand Bazaar, which charges about $85 for the day, and they have a very, very high foot traffic. They actually have a 12-day package, right? So 12 days is technically 3 months. And it's $960 to book 3 months worth of Sundays at that location. And we just got $5,000. So we can book that. We can also book the 1,500, and we can book out some more Williamsburg locations or some more Williamsburg dates. So we are finally, like I said, we're getting there to the point. We are getting to the point where we can almost stabilize a lot of locations. At this point, it's really just about having money to be able to book enough dates in advance so that we don't miss out on them. And I said that's going to be the runway for us to get up out of this studio apartment and finally pay rent, you guys. Yay, we're gonna pay rent. Oh my god, I know y'all are so happy that we're gonna finally pay rent, right? So at some point when we have enough money made from the locations, we will find a nice apartment, preferably a 2-bedroom that allows us to pay rent. Okay. And I'm trying to think what else happened this week with the craft fair. This week with the craft fair, we actually made $1,500. We made $1,500 this weekend, and it was a crazy weekend because I think it was Saturday. Was I sick on Saturday? I feel like I was. Was I sick on Saturday?
So, I think when did you go?
Go where? On Friday.
So, you might have started feeling under the weather Saturday.
Because I can't remember how it was. And your brother wasn't there Saturday either, right? Yeah. So Saturday, I was kind of getting to being sick, but not, I was still able to work. Sunday, I was there for a very short amount of time, and I had to go into the car because I was cold shit. Yeah, it was Saturday night, because Saturday into Sunday, bruh, my sleeping was terrible. Like, I was hot and cold at the same time. Like, I was sweating and shivering. How you sweat and shiver? Like that was it's cold sweats. I don't know what they call, but all I know is that's what I felt. And I'm just like, bruh, should I put my blanket on? Should I take it off? Should I turn the heat on? Should I turn the heat off? Should I drink some water? What should I do? Because I'm all types of fucked up. Then my head was killing me. It was just bad. Like, my throat was sore, and then it started feeling like you had a frog in your throat. It was just a very terrible Sunday. So that day, Melissa held it down because I was in the car, and this is even worse. I was in the car, and we have to, listen, I have to laugh sometimes when y'all be talking about how we should spend the money, because I'm like, our car don't even work the way it's supposed to work. But the radiator in the car, I believe, is messed up, because if the car is not moving, the heat doesn't come on. So it was freezing cold that day, and I'm in the car freezing because I didn't want to be in there coughing and sneezing up a lung, and with a headache and everything else. So Melissa was inside holding it down by herself and did amazing. I think she did like $800 in sales on Sunday. And it was great because on Saturday we didn't make as much money as we like to make on Saturday. And then Sunday she made enough money to where it kind of evened it out, where we were at $700 on Saturday, and then $800 on Sunday, that put us about $1,500, and that's exactly around the number that we usually have projected for each weekend. So it was just it was a great weekend, and I'm just so happy that we were able to get through that weekend without having it be like a huge loss for us, because we still have things to pay for. So any weekend that we don't hit the numbers that we want to hit, it usually has a negative effect on us. So it was great that we were able to hit that. So we got 3 orders in the last 2 days online. Crazy. I know, it's crazy. We haven't done a lot to boost the sales online, but I feel like it's great when we get consecutive sales, and like whenever we get sales online, we're like, oh, we got online sales. That's crazy. Like, they order the sales online. And I'm always happy when I get to see things like that. I'm hoping that because we have this Ink sports deal, which I've talked about last week, they have a bunch of new athletes. I think he said he has 500 new athletes. He just texted me today. And I was like, golly, he has to manage 500 athletes and vendors and whatnot. Now that we have them signed, or that they're signed and they're going to work with us, we have to send out 13 candles. 13 big candles. That's a lot of candles. Plus we have to send out what we just got from whoever ordered in the last 2 days. We had to send them what they ordered, and they have to also send out the other 13 candles. So I'm excited to see that, because I want to know how well will this affiliate marketing thing work, because if it works, then that is huge for us. And I think it's very funny too about the timing of it, because like I said, in December we aren't going to be booked that often in December. So we're going to be at Turnstile almost every day. Then we're going to be doing the affiliate marketing thing through Ink Sports. So if it happens that those people are doing very well, honestly, if each one of those people get us one sale for the whole month of December, that's 13 orders in a month. Is that crazy? If each one of those athletes can convert to get us one sale in that month of December, that's 13 orders online. And I'm like, that's a lot of orders in 1 month. That's almost 4 a week.
I think the most
3 a week.
In a month is like maybe 5.
Bruh, 13? And imagine we gonna get them while we in with Neffy in Florida.
I'm gonna have to turn the website off.
Bruh, I'm like, ooh.
No, not even, because we're not gonna be down there for that long.
Yeah.
Dude, I could just tell you that. It's a longer shipping time or something.
Yeah. So yes, that's really good. But I think as far as candle news, anything I'm missing? Yeah, so I think for all the candle updates, that closes that off. House update. I am you already know, over the house. I want to sell it. This is the worst month for us for the house, only because YouTube has been playing with our money crazy. So normally that was always covered by the YouTube check, which is cover the whole house payment more or less. Now it's barely getting half of the house payment. So that means that we have to come out of pocket from the craft fair $800 to pay for that, for the house. So I talked to my agent, I talked to some family member, and my family member was just like, hey, just sell it. Just, fire sale, whatever. So I told my agent, like, hey, drop the price at $215, right? He was like, all right, cool. And then he called me, or he texted me. He was like, you got a minute? And I'm like, yeah, I got a minute. What's up? He calls me. He's like, yeah, so I just saw your message. I obviously I misread what you said. Did you say $215,000? I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. He was like, that's $50,000 less, right? I'm like, yeah, it don't matter. It's cool. He was like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, right? Now, here's why I thought it was funny, because most of the time that I have talked to him, he has not said anything was not a good idea. Like, he has never said, like, yeah, that's not. He usually says, yeah, you could try that. Let's see how it goes. What's going on? This was the first time he was like, listen, I don't recommend you doing that. Now, I don't know if that's because he's going to get paid a lot less, but I don't think he's going to get paid that much less, but he's still going to get paid less. I think his reasoning was that, people will see the house and go, why did the house drop $50,000 in price? Like, with one drop, that's a lot. Something must be wrong with the house. And then he had sent me he told me about the net seller sheet that we would only get back $30,000. So that's, annoying. So I'm on the fence about it. But shout out to two people. Shout out to Melissa, Rios, and Frederick. So Frederick was saying that to try selling it to an investor on seller finance that does group home rentals. That's very niche. I'd have to find out how to get into that, like where to even find them, but that's an avenue to look into. And then the other avenue is Melissa. So she said that she has a person that is a loan officer and they could get me a refinance at 80% of LTV. So I'm like, okay, that would be amazing. And it will be a 7% interest, 30-year mortgage. So the only thing I have to find out is that going to be a cash out refinance? Like, can they still do 80% if it's a cash out refinance? Because I have heard that some people in the past will not allow you to take out that much if you're doing a cash out refinance. They'll give you, they won't. They'll say that their 80% is only if you're not doing a cash out refinance. That's usually what I've heard. So I'm hoping that is not the case. But I would need a 640 credit score. So, if anybody wants to partner, because my credit score is terrible, y'all know me. Terrible credit score, Melissa terrible credit score, but it would be opportunity for anybody who wants to possibly figure out some type of partnership terms on it. I want to double check with Tori. Let me text him again. Because he's the first person I asked. I want to make sure that if he is on board, I want to give him the first opportunity to say yes or no to it. See what happens with that, because if they can give me, I would really want like $40,000 or $50,000 back. I feel like that's a decent amount, and then we could just put a renter in there, and let's say that I'm okay with having to pay an extra $200-$300 a month and taking that loss, as opposed to us having to take. Well, we're taking a loss now. We're paying $1,500, and it's not even going towards the equity. So at least with this, we would be paying down the mortgage a little bit, and not have to really deal with this whole interest only nonsense that we have and are currently putting ourselves, or have been in, for about 2 years. And I think we can get a renter a lot quicker than we can get a buy for the house. And at least at $1,800. Like, at the minimum, I feel like we should be able to do is $1,800 for a renter. And then we can pay the $400 a month out of our pocket, which is $100 a week. I have no problem with that. And then if we get $40,000 in cash, we just start dispersing to people. And, we going from there. Ooh, we would need a $315,000 appraisal. And we could get enough money to pay everybody back. I feel like that's very reasonable. And even if I feel like it's close enough that even if it's not, like, we could still probably only owe like $20,000 out of the 85. And I think that's something that I want to, that's workable, as opposed to the 345 from before. But I think as far as the house goes, that is, listen, we always coming up with ideas every week, trying to figure out what we can do to just put ourselves in a better situation. Whether that's keeping the house, selling the house, I don't really care. Whichever one is going to be better for us. That's how it looks like. Whichever one is going to help our situation more is what I want to do. If it requires us to sell the house and just sell it for $150,000, then that's what I would do. If it requires us to refinance it or rent it or whatever, whatever we can do that's gonna make it work and get us out of the situation, then that's what I'm looking forward to trying to do. We have almost, we didn't get no pictures of it really. We're almost done setting up the new turnstile location. We had to go there on Tuesday because they had said they were gonna have a meeting for all the people who are vending at the location. And I thought, okay, I want to have our setup done by Tuesday because I think that it would be better for us if they can see our new setup as opposed to what we've been using at all the other places for here. Because we believe that we have to make this thing, we have to make this one stand out a lot, because that's how you draw people in at this place. There's not a lot of talking. There's not really a lot of, communicating and personality being involved. It looks or seems to me that the people that walk by want to see how extravagant your setup is, and then they will come over and go, oh, hey, what are you selling? And my theory was proven correct when we were kind of starting to set it up the other day. Melissa has sold a candle just by sitting at the table working on the stuff that she was working on. People are seeing the new design and going, oh, hey, what are you guys selling over here? Like, you guys, what's this? And I think that is the most important thing, because we know that if somebody comes to the booth, we can sell them a candle. We know that we can do that. We've done it. It feels so cool to say this. We've done it hundreds of times. We've sold hundreds of candles. Okay. So I know that if someone comes to our booth, we can sell them a candle. I have no doubt in my mind, right? However, getting them to the booth is a challenge, because we have never been in a scenario where we're selling at a place that people aren't looking to buy stuff. Like, that's our challenge. We have seen fairs that are similar to that. We just have not been in those fairs. Those are the fairs those are like the abyss fairs. You don't really want to be in those too much. Oh, honestly, you want to go to that fair still? The one in the that mall?
Check it out. Fuck, it's on weekends though, right?
Mm-hmm. Because I want to do one. Well, I wanted to go to one on the 26th. That's I think it's November 26th. Yeah, it's next week. Not this week, but next week's Saturday.
Right. Because we're doing the fair.
Yeah, because I wanted to see what's up. And then if we could maybe add one of those weekends to December.
That's a tough one.
So, yeah, I want to check it out. But I'm thinking, because it's on a Saturday. Is it 2 days? Yeah. You have to look into that and see how we would go about actually, if it makes sense, because we need the money for December, because December is going to really be a heavy month for us. I can already see it now. Financially, it's going to be, unless we get a lot of orders from Turnstile when we go there, because that's going to be our first month really hunkering down at that location and being there every single day. So I'm hoping that we can really make a lot of money in December. We got to get that set up right. But like I said, we have some stuff in mind, and I think it's already starting to work. And I think once everything comes together, people just walk up to the booth and be like, hey, you guys have candles? That's great. And Melissa wants to start selling massage candles. Well, I don't know if I'll say start, but she wants to add massage candles, because for Chelsea, we think the best week to do is Valentine's Day week. So Melissa was saying that she thinks it would be a good idea to add massage candles to sell during that week, because people always ask for one particular scent that we have, which is room service. They always said they think it would be a good scent to put on their body. So we think, well, like,
that's kind of, I just thought of like just another reason why that's like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about what you do when you go to like resorts and like hotels.
Mm-hmm.
You get massages and then even the candles research.
Right. So yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Yeah. So it said that's the plan. So we have to make that, design that, test it out, see how it goes, and just like I said, bro, I'm tired. I feel bad. I want to lay back in the bed and just watch anime, and bro, I want to just eat something that is not this. And then Tyler was telling me that he felt like a lot of people he knew were getting sick. So I'm like, maybe there's a super delta megacron Omarion coronavirus out there, and that's getting us. Because I remember when it first came out, people were definitely, when I got sick the first time, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is some crazy shit. But Corona wasn't out yet. They didn't release that movie yet. So I'm like, okay, it's a regular flu or something. I'm like, this feels like, is it that? I don't know. It could be. So
that's kind of crazy.
What?
Like, I could definitely see that being what's happening.
Right.
Because it's like, it was fine.
Right. Like, what the fuck is this? And then the thing to me that shows me why something is kind of strange is because normally, if one of us is sick, the other one doesn't really get sick like that. It's like I got sick and then Melissa got sick almost right after I got sick with almost the same exact symptoms that I got. And that's like, that usually doesn't happen. Usually it's like, oh, I'm sick. Well, we don't even get sick like that, to be honest with you. But if one of us does feel down, it's like, damn, okay, you down, take a nap or whatever, sleep or whatever. And the other one is just fine. That's usually how it is.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, I see you over there.
Right, right. That's crazy. Like you'll go outside, go shopping or something. I'll be in the bed dying, or you'll be in the bed dying. I'll be watching YouTube or doing something outside, like not outside, but like.
That's really how it always works.
Yes, and I'm like, never do I get sick and then you get sick right after that. Like. And I think it's funny because I'll be like, we be having sex and it don't be happening. So I'm like, we exchanging bodily fluids. If that's how this is supposed to work, we supposed to both be getting sick. Now we not even having sex and we getting sick. How'd that work? So obviously it's something else in the air right now. You guys heard it here first. Breaking news on the Bamboo Project podcast. Oh yeah, that too. The coronavirus has stopped us from having sex. It is anti-sex. But yeah, so as far as the update for the last week, that's pretty much all I got. I do have something I want to go. Here's the Donovan's questions. I haven't had these in a while because life is hard over here. We've been struggling to be what we want to do. What do you do as a friend, right? If your friend tells you they're getting cheated on, what is the proper response to that? And should you tell your friend that if you're not going to leave the person? Right? Because it's like, I feel like I don't know what the proper response is to that. Because I'm like, if my friend cheats, right? What's wrong with your neck? You know you look at me. You look like the meme. Cause I'm looking like this, right? I feel like as a guy, if I have a male friend, he's getting cheated on by his girl, I'll be like, yo, bro, you gotta leave her. She don't care about you, right? And he'll be like, nah, bro, I'm working on it. We working on it, right? That's what I feel like a guy's response would be to that. I don't know how girls respond, how they interact with situations like that. Because I feel like when it happens with two girls, right? If a girl has a girlfriend and her man is cheating on her, I feel like the girlfriend who's getting cheated on will talk badly about the boyfriend and then stay with that boyfriend. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, why would you bring all of that to me, right? And then stay with the person. And this is coming from a perspective of, I have dealt with friends on both sexes, women who were getting cheated on and men who were getting cheated on. And for me, both times, I'm like, just leave, right? More often than not, the women don't leave, like almost ever. and the men usually leave. Just takes a little bit while. It takes a while, but the women usually stay for a very, 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 very long time. So my thing is, as a friend, what should the proper response be if a friend tells you to get cheated on? Should you condemn the person that's cheating like their significant other, or should you just engage in the craziness and be like, oh, what? Oh my God, they cheated? I can't believe they did that. What? And then whatever they say, you say back to them. Where was he at? He was at the where? Oh my! I knew he was gonna be. I knew it. What? You don't like that? I don't like it either. And you thought he was bad. I thought he was bad too. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. And he's ugly. Yes, he is ugly. Mm-hmm. And the next day when they, back together, oh my God, I'm so happy that I'm with him. Man, he is the greatest guy for you. I feel like you can't, like, you guys have, like, I want what you guys have. Like, the kind of love you two have, I would love to have that. Like, is that what, like, people want? Because to me, that's insanity. I don't know if I could operate like that. I would be looking at myself crazy in the mirror, trying to figure out why. I remember yesterday when you were saying that this person ain't shit, and then the next day you guys are together. To me, that's hard. That's hard for me to have that conversation with that person. Like, that's difficult. So I just be wondering, from other people's perspective, what would you suggest someone do if they were getting cheated on? Right? Like, that, I feel like there needs to be some type of clarification on this. And I think that if you get cheated on, keep it to yourself. Right?
What if you need support?
What kind of support could you need getting cheated on? What is the possible support you can need when you get cheated on?
Emotional support.
Like what? I will help you. See, that's a problem. That's a problem with women. They need too much emotional support. They need more physical support. I'll help you move out the house. You want me to help you move? You want me to help you look for a new location? You want me to help you go get something to eat? I can help you with those. Emotional is craziness. Emotional support is crazy. Get a dog. Get an emotional support dog. Because they can't talk. They don't understand the craziness going on. They just like, oh, you're home. Oh, you're not home. Okay. Y'all are fighting. Y'all not fighting. Okay. That's what, just get one of those. I'm not one of those. So I think that is something that people need to address. Now, another thing, kind of similar situation. This is about toxic people. Toxicity. I don't know how this happened or if it's just me, but I feel like somewhere along the lines, people painted being toxic as intentional. And I don't think being toxic is intentional. And I think that is the hardest reason why. I think that is the hardest reason to deal with someone who is toxic, because it's not intentional. It's almost purely emotional, like 100% emotional. And it's just that because the emotions range so wide, today they could be happy with their man that's beating them, and then tomorrow they could not be happy with the man that's beating them, and they don't want you to tell them about it. So when you say, hey, is he still beating you? And you go, who's beating me? Nobody ever beat me. People will call it gaslighting, right? But maybe that person is just so ashamed of staying with the person that beat. They just go, I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't want to feel bad about that. I don't remember that. And it's like, is that intentional to hurt the person that they're talking to? Are they gaslighting them on purpose? Or are they trying to defend themselves from being hurt by their own decisions? And I think that if people could understand that toxic people work that way, I think it'd be easy to understand how to deal with them. Because right now I feel like social media, I don't feel like toxic other than, the two people that the Lord Voldemort that shall not be named. I think that other than those two, there isn't really a popular toxic situation going on. But I think that right now we're all in a very mental health thing. But I don't think that the mental health part that's being addressed is that people are just emotional. And what comes from that is a lot of the things that people deem to be toxic. Like if I go down a list, I'm gonna Google a list right now of toxic traits, and I can guarantee they're probably not they're probably not intentional at all. Okay, here we go. We got 25 toxic personality traits to spot in yourself and others. Let's see if any of you guys fall into these 25 traits. Negativity. Toxic. A person with negativity may see the world as cold, cruel, and evil. They may frequently complain, ruin the fun, or dampen people's spirits with defeatist comments and actions, right? What if that person really feel like that? What if they really feel negative? Like they feel like people don't like them? How do you justify that? Like, how do I come to the like? That's not intentional. So when they come to the group and they're like, "Hey guys," it's like, "Damn, bro, what's wrong with you?" Like, it's not, the person's not trying to dampen the mood. They just really feel bad. But now it's like, okay, how does a person who feels good address someone like that? Because it's not intentional, but they will still be labeled as toxic. That's number one. Number two is judgmentalness, and this is according to betterup.com. A person who is judgmental may judge situations, people, or events without experience. Okay. Dishonesty. Rigidness. That's interesting. A person who is rigid may be stubborn, inflexible.
Why you say that?
Ooh, rigid. So that means you gotta be inflexible.
Inflexible. That means you're not.
Right, you're not bendy. Or unable to adapt when things don't go as planned. For example, an employee may struggle to adapt when a new boss joins your team and changes the team dynamic. I guess. What if I don't like them? Would they do weird stuff? It's like I said. But I'm gonna go through the whole list. I'm not gonna like.
I just had a funny thought.
What's that?
Because I'm like, OJ is like getting to that age where he's gonna start looking at how to make money and stuff. And like, what if he comes across a podcast and hears that?
Hilarious. I'll probably run into OJ. He's from Flatbush. Okay, so I'm gonna read the other like 15, but I'm not going to read the definitions of them. But cynicism, recklessness, pickiness, argumentativeness. Oh, that one is definitely Melissa. It says a person who is argumentative may get joy or pleasure from starting arguments. For example, a person may look for flaws in a family member's idea and attempt to rile them into a fight. Not all conflict is bad, but being argumentative for the sake of arguing can be detrimental.
How you figure that's me?
I feel like that's when you're
also you.
What you mean? I love to argue? You think so?
What would you call it?
Having heated debates and discussions. It's definitely not arguing.
Listen, like I said, see yourself, sir.
And I don't start arguments.
See yourself.
I start arguments?
See yourself.
But you didn't answer my question.
Yes.
Like what? What argument? I didn't know I start arguments.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I'd be trying to get like. Cause I feel like you have to be mad to start an argument. Actually, that's not true.
Right.
But I feel like you have to be trying to start an argument. I don't try to start an argument. I can listen. If I want to start an argument, I know how to start an argument. That's why I'm like, I don't be trying to do that.
That's as finds joy and happiness out of argument. That's how you feel about me. But you genuinely be happy arguing with people.
Let me see. Do I get joy or pleasure from starting an argument?
I wish.
Nah.
I wish like.
From starting an argument? I don't mind. That's the thing. I don't think it's an argument that I like to have. I would console.
I'm sure the people that are talking to you probably don't feel the same.
Then why they arguing with me? Don't argue. I'm not. They arguing with me. I'm not arguing with them. Like, I could come on a podcast and be like, "Hey, I want to have $10 billion." They're gonna be like, "Donovan, you can't have $10 billion," and I'm gonna be like, "Why not?"
I wish that I could like put a montage of all your different like just
Different.
arguments.
With who?
Right here. With you. I can see it now. It would just be like all the different arguments popping up on the screen, and then you talking like, I don't start arguing.
But I definitely don't though. The only argument I started I could think of, which was this is starting an argument, was with Sarah on the Discord when I was like, all right, like listen. I'm gonna tell her that she's
You know what?
South African.
I wish like I could like pull. You're poor.
What you mean? What?
You're a poor. That's you. Every 5 seconds in the Discord, you're a poor.
To who?
You be saying it's a poor mentality.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not starting an argument. I'm telling facts. This is not an argument. I'm literally saying you talking like you're poor.
How do you think that would be received?
That's not my problem. I'm not. That's not.
Listen, I feel like you hear yourself.
Because no. Come on. This is what it is.
Even if you feel like you don't start the arguments, you definitely don't be stopping them from happening. Right? One person.
Because no. This is what happens. That is absolutely what happens all the time. All the time. This is okay. This is how it happens in my head. Okay. I make a statement of a belief that I have. Someone disagrees with my belief or says I should have had that belief. I then defend my reasoning for the belief.
And
they get more upset.
And you enjoy it.
But how am I starting an argument? If I go, oh, wait. If I go, man, we haven't paid rent in 2 years. And someone goes, what's wrong with you guys? And I go, we can't afford it. Am I starting an argument?
No.
I feel like that's, like I said, I think what happened with Sarah is me starting an argument. Like that to me is like, okay, I'm about to purposefully try to antagonize this person. It was for a joke, but that to me is like starting an argument.
Okay, do you think that's the only time you've done that?
Like in my life? We have a time you remember something like specifically?
I don't have a time.
Oh, because I'm like, I don't do that.
Oh.
Bruh, most of my time, people just don't like.
Up in a lot of arguments.
You said yes, yeah, exactly.
Don't start.
Yes, I will just say things and people will get upset. That is not me starting an argument. That's not me starting an argument. I'm not insulting nobody. Really?
Mind you, the first thing that comes to your mind is Melissa when you read that. That's
absolutely. Melissa, you love start arguments. You love start arguments.
You love arguing.
But that's not the same. First of all, I love debating. You love arguing. There's a very big difference between the two.
I think. Okay, what would you say the difference is?
I think when someone debates with someone, there is a reasoning that they have and a point that they are defending. That's what I think debating is. It's that. I think arguing is trying to get into a heated, screaming match. That to me is arguing.
I don't think that's what I'd be trying to do. I think that if anything, I may feel more attached to whatever my reasoning is, and that's why it ends up being more argumentative as opposed to being strictly logical. I can say that, but I don't go into it. I don't go into it saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna start this argument right now."
I think that's cap.
It's not cap. You're literally talking about how people don't intentionally do
You're right.
it.
You're right.
All right then.
You're right. It's not intentional. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. It's not intentional. Happens to just be happening.
Right. That's what I said. Like I think the emotional aspect of myself is what makes it come off or makes it fall into the argumentative realm, as opposed to keeping it strictly as a debate. I think that's what happens.
And I think that we got to figure out that's for people. Like I was saying earlier about toxicity or toxic traits, where it's like they aren't ill-willed, they're just super annoying. And I think that is what people have to figure out how to deal with. Like Like, bro, you're being annoying. Like, let me read some other ones on here. Like, quick to anger, bossiness, self-centeredness, arrogance. I have that one for sure. A person who displays arrogance may believe they are more intelligent and more important than others. I absolutely feel like that, 100%. As such, they may treat others rudely or condescendingly. I don't know if I do that. Can I help you? Okay. For example, an arrogant and selfish employee may refuse to listen to anyone else's ideas and are not willing to collaborate. That's not me. I do it all the time. All the time.
You do all the time.
Listen to other people's ideas and willing to collaborate. I collaborate and listen to everybody's idea all the time. All the time. All the time. Listen to it. I don't agree. I don't like that. I'll hear it out. I'll have a debate about it. Greediness, stinginess. My dad's super stingy. I don't know if I got that. I feel like I kind of a little bit. Sneakiness. I don't know if I'm sneakiness. Thoughtlessness, disruptiveness, conflict avoidance, impulsiveness. That's an interesting one. It's a toxic trait. That's very interesting. A person who is impulsive may make rash decisions based on emotion. For example, an impulsive friend may spend too much money because they lack emotional regulation skills. Interesting.
I feel like, I might be a little bit, slightly impulsive. Like the time that I ran down 23 flights of stairs.
Was that house on fire this week? But I forgot that happened. The house was on fire this week, guys. Like the whole hallway was smoked up. People was banging on the door. The fire department came up here on the 23rd floor. It was crazy.
It was in our apartment.
Yeah, but it was on our floor. So the smoke was in here. I couldn't breathe. I was like, damn, some people be dying. Like I felt it. I'm like, wow. If all this smoke was in here, I would 100% be dead. I would have inhaled it and died for sure.
I thought the funniest part, like I wish there could have been like a camera. Because I was definitely at the door looking down the hall. He was like, Melissa, get inside.
Bruh. I'm looking above her head and she has her head out the window, out the door. And there's smoke just coming in the house. I'm looking. I'm like... So, 23, apathetic. Well, laziness. According to Chico... Shout out to my guy Chico /Finito. He said I'm very lazy. A person who is lazy may struggle to finish tasks because they lack inspiration, motivation, and drive. For example, an employee may avoid completing their task because they don't want to. I just want to say, from reading this list very shortly, it seems like the most toxic people are employees. That's what I've noticed.
What?
They keep using it as a reference. They keep saying, like, imagine you have an employee. Imagine you have a conflict with your coworker. I'm like,
that. What is the name of the website?
betterup.com. Look at this disruptiveness, right? A person who is disruptive may speak over or interrupt others for personal gain. For example, an employee may play music.
I'm gonna defend the employees. It's called betterup.com because it might be a workplace thing. Let's see. Yes, your company grows when your people do. Right. It's don't do them like that.
I'm just saying. I was like, I see a trend here that obviously the most toxic people are the most toxic people.
That's their talk. Honestly, I think that's kind of crazy. I mean, nah.
What?
Damn, right. I think it's crazy that it is a workplace program thing, but to use employees as all these examples, like employers can't be toxic.
Nope, just employees.
Right. That is kind of crazy.
Just employees. I'm like, damn, I see it like 6-7 times. I'm like, damn, what kind of terrible job is this? How many employees I got here that's just wild? Got our cleaner last week. On Monday. I know a lot of you guys are probably upset because we are poor. But well, I forgot who it was. Hold on, I would never say that again. That's not true. I'm broke. But shout out to OJ Suave. We are poor. Bro, the house was messy the next day. The house was messy the same day. Like, we came back from being outside for the whole day, and then we messed the house up. So we came in the house, whole thing.
Exhausted.
Like,
honestly, Monday was what?
That's when we went out with Ariel.
God damn.
He was out all day.
So yeah, Monday was when the cleaner was there. We went out all day, came home, and started working on the stuff for Tuesday. I know when I got sick too, or when I had the first symptom. I was talking to someone during the crafting.
Coughed in your mouth.
Oh my God! I had to step off to the side. Like, I was choking. I'm like, obviously I ate something that I'm allergic to. Then Monday, I maybe had like a little tingle in my throat, but it was definitely nothing crazy. I thought it was like, I drink some tea and I'll be okay. Going into Monday night, I couldn't even finish working on the damn display. And then Tuesday is when we went to...
Did everything.
Tuesday is when we went to Turnstile.
Bro.
And then went to the other thing afterwards. What time did we get home?
1:30.
Jesus. And it's Thursday. This is not enough rest.
Bro, it's not.
I need to call my employer.
Because I'm like, yeah, because I got to edit this podcast tomorrow. Get it up before the weekend, before Sunday. I got to do a thumbnail and everything. But, oh, right. But yeah, the cleaner. So here's what I would say. It ended up being $235. It was $190 for the person who was a male. I will post a picture here of it because he sent us a picture trying to be a comedian, talking about you guys collecting these, you guys are collecting it, using collectibles, and I'm like, all right, Mr. Comedy Man. But I'm gonna post a picture up of what he put here. Everybody who's in the Discord, they saw the picture already. For everyone also be thinking, listen, I'm telling you, we be exhausted, and cleaning is not the priority, but it needs to get done. But I'd rather sleep. That's not true. I would rather sleep, but I also know I need to clean, otherwise I won't get out of bed. But when it comes to cleaning, like I said, it was $235. The extra $45 was the thumbtack fee. And I ended up getting an ad for someone that actually would do it for like $79. So if we do hire a cleaner again, I would probably pay that price and see what they offer. Overall, I would probably give the house cleaning. What would you give it?
No. Go away. I would give it 2 scores. Just for like general, like what I want to do it again. With that particular cleaner, I'd probably give it like a. Let's go with a 10. Maybe a 7. But I do think the reason why I'm gonna give it 2 scores, or like, I want to give the benefit of the doubt because we didn't give like specifics, and I feel like the specifics would have helped on what to focus on. And I think it could have had a better result if we said the specifics, like hitting the drain, don't worry about the couch, blah blah blah. So I think it has the potential to do good. It's just our first time doing it. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking 7.5. I think that we should have a punch list for all the things that we want cleaned. And it's something that I've learned recently just in this line of work as far as hiring people or working with people. I am trying to get to a point where I don't hire anybody that I don't give a list of expectations to on anything. Because a lot of times I tend to go, hey, you're an expert at this thing. Be an expert. Like, just do your thing that you do. And I feel like that is not always the best route. It's good. I remember it for certain things, but not everything. But I think if I'm going to hire somebody, I should always have expectations given. Hey, I want these things done specifically. I want you to clean the television, the drain. I want the floor mopped. I'll give you a nice check off list, and you can just go down the list. And that's what. So now we know. You know what I want. I know that you know what I want. And if it don't get done, you give me a reason why it's not done or whatever. And I shouldn't be surprised when I come home and it's not done.
I also think that telling him or like putting out certain things, like I think maybe asking him if he needs anything, or telling him where he can find additional supplies would be helpful, because I noticed that he used the little red vacuum, and we have a big ass vacuum inside the closet, so like that could have been more helpful,
right?
If I knew that's something that you needed,
right?
So yeah.
And I was expecting him to have more supplies personally. He came with a little tiny Bob the Builder backpack thing, and I was like, we just Swiffer, bro. Like I feel like you're supposed to come in here like with a big ass suitcase full of stuff that you open it up and you doing stuff. But like I said, expectation, gotta give him that. And shout out to Tor, he responded. We will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. We did it. Okay, we were able to get the money for Chelsea next year. So that was our main objective. All right, guys. But you know what it is. #BambooProject 2022. We got 6 weeks left. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out. And watch Black Clover.